ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, that was a little loud.
That was a little loud.
That was a little loud. I'm sorry. I'm John.
I'm Whitney.
And we're from Intelligent Concrete. So we're excited to talk to you today about a real world problem.
Right.
Did you know that back in 2015, the Salt Institute
Right. Had a shortage.
had a shortage?
Right.
Had a shortage not for the table salt that we commonly use or the Himalayan rock salt, which
Love
is
that.
absolutely amazing. But they also had a shortage of salts that were used as...
De-icing.
Now, it's unknown to most people that we are using orders of magnitude
More salt than we need to.
than we used to.
Right. Yeah, I guess maybe not necessarily than we need to.
And this is normalizing out, because people, when I bring this up, people say, well, John, compared to the 1940s, we have...
Way more roads.
Maybe it could be argued an order of magnitude more roads.
Oh, totally.
But if you normalize those roads out, we're still using much more. And when Whitney and I go talk to the folks at the different departments of transportations, and Phil, I know you're not in this one yet, but have you ever talked to the DOTs about how much de-icing salts and brines that they use on roadways and why they use so much?
I have not.
We used to live in New Jersey. And Whitney and I used to go running in the winter in this suburbia that we lived in, that I'd been living in since I was a pup. And they use so much de-icing salts.
Well, they start putting it down before there's even a drop of snow.
Right.
So,
A flake.
if they end up, and we all know that weather is not 100% reliable, so they start putting it down before, and
Ad nauseum.
and sometimes, we wouldn't even get snow when they're freaking tearing up the roads with this mad chloride.
No, it was the rock salt that they were using, that the county was using. They would
Sometimes the asphalt would be white, though, from them spraying stuff on.
I was leading up to that, and you just stole that from
I'm
me.
sorry.
No, good job. No, these brand new black tops
Right.
would turn it would look from a distance as if there was snow on them or
Right.
ice, because they were pure white.
Yeah.
Pure white. Why
Yeah.
is that much
In
salt
excess. Yep.
necessary? And when you ask them, so we've gone to many a DOT, and we've asked them why. Can you stop? Can you yank it back? And the answer has always been, when you take into account the driver safety versus the material safety, or the degradation of the material, driver safety is always going to win out. And that's not the argument. And you can't get past that is not the argument.
Right. It's
the
just
argument
the excessive
is
amount.
why
Right.
the excess? Because and the answer is, well, if a little does good,
A lot's even better.
a lot's even better. And that is absolutely not the case.
Sure.
So what ends up happening is we cannot get past the unfortunate reality, scooch in a little bit,
Okay.
the unfortunate reality that we're going to see that. Any place there's ice and snow, even the inkling, if you go to Vicksburg, Mississippi, and the one time it snows in 30 years, first of all, everything shuts down, but
Sure.
when available, they'll use all that de-icing salt. And it's just not a necessity. So the unfortunate reality is we're not going to get past that.
Right.
It's just going to continue to happen. We're not going to be, we as in the industry is going to have a very hard time convincing folks to pull back.
Sure.
And then executing that on a foot soldier level, or those out in the field,
Right.
is going to be harder. So then, if that's the issue, what is the resolution?
Well, you've got to, if they're not going to pull back on that, you've got to do something to create a stronger, more durable material
That's why I married
to
her.
be able to combat the problem.
That's why I married her. Not only are you beautiful, but you are brilliant.
Thank you, Emma. Appreciate that.
As we digress, the impetus of all of this is, if we have real world problems that we can't get past, instead of whining and crying about it, how do we create a concrete, a roadway, local state
Right.
arteries that are more durable to deal with this mishigas that we're getting from the DOTs?
Right.
And the answer is new and emerging technologies. We
Absolutely.
cannot rely on fly ash. Can't do it.
Right.
C ash, F ash, they're gone.
Yeah.
If they're not gone yet where you're at, give it another
getting close.
week. Give it another year maybe.
And again, and I know this is kind of one of my soapbox, but if you can even, one of my soapboxes, But if you can't even get it, you can't rely on the product that you're getting anymore. Because sources are so limited, you've just got to take whatever is available.
You get what you get, and you
Yeah.
don't get upset.
Right.
One of our ready-mix suppliers that we work with is on the bottom of the totem pole, or the bottom of the long list of folks who are waiting for ash, and she
Right.
will be passed up in line sometimes. Like it just won't happen. By
Right.
the time it gets
Right.
to her, it's not even slim pickings or no pickings. So there are new and emerging technologies. We're working through an ASTMC 1709 alternative supplementary cementitious material. There's a new ACI. The American Concrete Institute has a brand new committee, ACI 242.
Yeah, I believe so.
And we've talked about it many, many times before, but this is the season. Colorado, we had a very early snow.
Oh yeah, it's been
October.
snowing since middle of October this year.
Since October. Couldn't
Which is-
believe it.
It's rare. Normally it doesn't happen that early, but
And we are not complaining.
No.
We
need the moisture.
We have a buddy of ours got 40 acres out in the pastures, and the soil is starting to crack from the lack of moisture. That
Right.
being said, you see the trucks going out.
Right.
That mag chloride is out in effect,
Right.
and that is going to destroy not only the concrete but also asphalt too.
Sure.
I mean, that's because
Don't
it's
stop. You just tread softly there. You come on.
being nice. So, what can we use? What can we do to make that concrete stronger and last longer? And my opinion, what I've used and what we've done in the lab is using Juno XP, which is the only commercially available alternative supplementary cementitious material. And if you
Right.
can't get good ash, if you can't get silica fume,
Right.
if you're part of the world that you're not getting slag,
Right.
but you have, I mean, that's where we are at here
Oh,
in Colorado.
absolutely.
Colorado, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Utah,
Right.
California. You're feeling this pain. We're
Right.
talking to you. Whitney is running the ASTMC 672, which is the
The
concrete,
scaling test.
the
yeah.
scaling test where you're ponding it with
Calcium chloride
calcium
solution.
chloride.
Right.
Calcium chloride solution. It's a nasty.
Yeah, it is.
Like it's what we see.
Right.
And
Well, and mag chloride's even.
I mean, it's,
No, it wouldn't. But my point is, I mean, the calcium chloride, it's aggressive and it's a very concentrated form. That being said, we're doing even worse to our roads.
Right. So, what we're seeing in the test, we're at 15 cycles right now.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
Which it's a 50 cycle test, so we're front 1/3 of it. We're
Right.
front, right?
About a third, yeah.
About a third. But the thing that we've seen is calcium chloride is going to destroy concrete, especially in this freezing and thaw
Right.
environment. 18 hours freeze,
And then
6 to
yeah.
8 hours thaw, something
Yep,
like that.
Yep.
We are starting to see failure at the surface. Aggregate is starting to show through, but it is a scaling test.
Right.
So what we are not seeing,
Sheets. We're not seeing sheets coming off.
that delamination,
Right.
if
and
you will.
and the cohesion between the aggregate and the paste is just, it's not to be believed.
We saw it yesterday. We were in one of our clients' offices, and I was looking at some split tensile samples made with that
Right.
Juno XP, and I was, I had sent it to him. It was sitting on his shelf, and I yanked him off the shelf, scratched up his desk. I did not mean to do that. Sorry. Anyway, but if you look at the aggregate,
Right.
we've got like an 85%.
Sorry.
So, what we see with the Juno XP, and you know who wrote a paper
Who?
that we need to really refer to was back in the 1980s. Dale Bentz, Edgar Bozzi, Paul Stutzman.
That's quite a
It
crew.
wasn't just, but they were writing about the impact of silica fume on the interfacial zone
Okay.
of between the aggregate and the hydrated cement matrix.
Okay.
And that's what we're seeing with the Juno XP is a better interfacial bond that not only has a positive impact on splitting tensile
Sure.
or stuff like that, but also has a positive impact on scaling resistance.
Right.
Because the inevitable reality is you are going to have some damage with calcium chloride and freestyle. You can't get past that. Like if you think, well, shit, this stuff is not good because it's failing. No, we designed
Right.
these tests to make the concrete fail.
Right. It's gauging when it fails and how it fails.
So
No
anyway,
faults.
wrapping it up, the resolution is the technologies that we relied on, our bread and butter, the hooks that we used to hang
Right.
our hat on, they're just not doing the part.
Right.
And you don't have to believe anything we say about the fly ash going away. I mean, don't take our word for it, and surely don't take our advice and Try it for yourself. Do the research on where all the fly ash is going and what we started in 1978 and what that is doing to our supply, as well as the different technologies that are out there, because you cannot stay clear of using a supplementary cementitious material to make your concrete stronger and last longer. You need it. It's part of...
You do. One of the things that, I don't know, bothers me a little bit though is, okay, let's even say that the fly ash is still there. Let's say it was at the same level that it was. We're putting our roads in more aggressive environments. There's more traffic going over them. We're putting more salts down. I mean, it's not in the same, the environment is more aggressive than it used to be.
Right.
And so regardless of the fly ash shortage, which is, it's a real problem, I mean, still, we're doing more, we expect more from our roads, yet we're using the same mixed design with lower quality materials. So it's time to start trying to create a more durable concrete, because we're putting the concrete or the asphalt or whatever it is in a more aggressive environment.
More so the concrete.
More so the concrete.
Because that's where you wouldn't use asphalt in a real aggressive environment. It's just too sensitive.
Got an asphalt guy right here. I see John's just poking the bear.
Just having it.
That's what he does.
So, hey, listen, thanks for joining us today. We hope you learned something. If you have any questions, any comments, throw them in that area down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that little belly thing over
Belly?
here. There's a bell thing.
Oh, belly.
That gives
not
you-
a belly. I thought like you.
Ah! Hit the bell,
The bell.
right over here
Yeah.
to get notifications of our most awesome and newest.
Updates.
Amen. Thanks for your time. Go Concrete.
Beat asphalt.
That's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April.